This buffed M13B is absolutely incredible. They upped the damage on this thing, and so now you can use it like an SMG, but it still has an insane damage range, making it one of the best ARs to use at a range. Seriously, this thing is nasty. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's an overview of my ranked play M13B setup. Then obviously you just swap out the field upgrade for the trophy based on the situation. When we take a look at this final build, you guys can see we got a pretty good ADS speed. It's not like super snappy, but it is an AR. And then the overall recoil control, absolutely zero recoil. This thing is a beam. By the way, do you want that Orion camo, but you're just a little bit too busy to grind through all 2,000 camos? If so, you should definitely check out Guapci. Guapci provides weapon leveling services, camo unlock services, challenge unlock services such as the Warzone Nuke, and many more for all the platforms. So for the first attachment, I recommend you guys to go over to the stock, and you want to use the Ravage or the Bruin Flash V4. With the Bruin Flash, you're going to get way more pros. It really makes the weapon feel very light, but we are going to lose a little bit more recoil control. And with the Ravage, you get a little bit less mobility, but then you're having less cons. And so I would just use whichever one you'd like more. I will give you guys tunings for both of them. For me though, I'm really liking that Bruin Flash 4. Next up, you guys want to go over to the rear grip, and then you want to throw on the Bruin Flash just to bring up the mobility even more. We are losing a little bit more recoil control, but the M13B is known to have like very little recoil, so it shouldn't really be a problem. And for the tuning on this guy, just increase the ADS speed and the sprint to fire speed, and this isn't based on a linear scale, so we're actually getting the most amount of sprint to fire speed when we increase it by -0.07 rather than if we were to max that out. And for the tuning, you want to increase the overall mobility of the weapon whenever you stop moving. So annoying. I know I gotta increase my dead zone, but like, it's stupid I even have to do that. Whenever you see the sprint to fire speed, you want to increase that value, and this isn't actually based on a linear scale, so we are getting the most amount of sprint to fire speed when we increase it to -0.07 rather than if we're to max that out. Next up, you guys want to go over to the optic. You guys do not have to run an optic, so I'll give you a variation, but for me and lots of others, I find myself doing better with the Corona Mini Pro. The Slimline Pro is also a very good option. It's just whichever one you like more. I just really like that blue dot sight. And for the tuning, increase the flinch resistance. This is going to make it a little bit easier to stay on target when the enemies are shooting at you. And then for the bottom one, the farther you make it away from you, the more FOV and less visual recoil you're going to have, although the targets are going to be a little bit smaller. So find the one that you like. For me, I like it around like 75% increase. And then next up, you guys want to go over to the underbarrel. I got a couple different options for you guys. So if you want the maximum amount of recoil control and you don't mind your weapon being a little bit slower, I would run the Edge 47 or the F-Tech Ripper. They are basically the same. Maybe you want a lot of recoil control, but you don't want to lose as much ADS, then I recommend doing the Commando. And then for the tuning on all these underbarrels that I'm giving you, it should be the same across the board. So if I give you the tuning for the shark fin, it should be the same tuning for like the Commando or the F-Tac Ripper. And maybe this Commando is giving you enough recoil control, but you just really don't like the mobility. Like for me, I threw on the Commando, made the weapon feel good, but I just did not like the ADS speed, so I'm going to throw on the Phase 3 grip. We're not going to get as much recoil control, but we're not going to lose as much mobility. And the same thing goes for the Shark Fin 90. The Shark Fin, you get a little bit of recoil control, but you're not losing like any stats whatsoever. I just found on ranked play, the Phase 3 feels a little bit better. For like public matches, then I'll probably just run the Shark Fin because I'm not going against like sweaty people. And for the tuning, and keep in mind, the same tuning is going to apply to all the other underbarrels. We are just going to increase the recoil stabilization, bringing down the horizontal recoil, and then you want to increase the aiming auto stability, eliminating the sway on the weapon, so we'll have less unpredictable recoil. And for the last attachment, before we go into that though, just keep in mind there is going to be a couple of variations that I'll give you after this muzzle. But for this setup, which is my favorite setup, we are going to be going over to the muzzle, and you want to add the Sock and Tread 40. This gives a lot of vertical recoil control with a decent amount of horizontal, and so I found on this weapon there's not that much horizontal, but there is a lot of vertical, so it works out perfectly. And for the tuning on this guy, increase the horizontal recoil control and the gun kick control, which that gun kick control is going to be your vertical recoil. So now this setup has a lot of mobility, but then we also can beam people across the map. With all that said, let's get into the variations. So if you do not want to run an optic, obviously take that off. Then I would throw in a magazine or the ammo. For ranked play, wouldn't really add a magazine. I would just go over to the ammo and throw in the high velocity rounds, which then you want to max out the damage range and the bullet velocity velocity, but according to Exclusive Ace, this actually isn't doing anything at all. But the weapon, when I'm using it, feels a little bit better with this, and so I think it's just a placebo thing. What you guys can also do is take off the high velocity. If you are running this in the public matches, feel free to throw on the VLK and tune that for more mobility. So I also tried out a barrel on the weapon, but I just found it hurt the mobility too much. Like, I don't mind if I just take off the socket and then throw on the barrel, which if you do want to do that, here's the tuning for the barrel, but I don't really recommend that. It just makes the weapon feel a little bit slow, and I don't really think we need more damage range. Lastly, if you do want to use the Ravage 8, which will make the weapon a little bit easier to use if you aren't the best player, then I would just increase the overall mobility of the weapon for those tunes. Ladies and gentlemen, this gameplay absolutely incredible. You gotta watch. We had an extremely high KD. You guys can see this M13B absolutely incredible, and I'll explain why I'm not doing a ranked gameplay to showcase this weapon, but just based off these stats and on here, you guys can see this is a very good weapon. For sure one of the meta weapons in the game now. If it still doesn't kill that quick, but it has a very good damage range, and so then it kills quick at like medium long range. And then the overall mobility is pretty good. There's no recoil, and so it is, I would say, like maybe just below S tier, maybe in like A tier or something like that. And so the reason I'm not doing a ranked gameplay is because usually when I'm playing ranked, I'm playing with other content creators. Like before this, I was playing with Strafe, Strategy, and Hummus Thunder, and I got up to Diamond and stuff. But if I'm using the Kastov 762 or the M13B and we lose the match, I'm gonna get roasted. They're gonna tell me to put that away and pull out like a Vaznev or the Scar, like, I mean, not the Scar, the TAC 56. There's a reason why those weapons are like the meta weapons. Pretty much the only way I can get a gameplay with these off meta weapons, which this weapon's still kind of meta but not, you know, meta, is I would have to play solo. And if I'm playing solo in diamond lobbies, it's kind of, you know, it just doesn't really work that well. I usually like having really good teammates and things, and it's when you get to those ranks, you really got to use the meta weapons. I pretty much main in SMG. The only thing I use in ranked play is the Vazin, just because I'm an SMG player, trying to main that only. Sometimes I'll pull out the TAC, but overall, I'm going to be using the Vazin because I am an SMG player. I believe this is the Nuke streak now. I need to explain what I'm doing. One thing about these commentaries, I love doing them. Like, I was recording this, or I was recording a gameplay before, and then I didn't really like talking and playing, so I just want to play and then just talk after. I actually enjoy these way more. And so that's what you guys will probably see. You'll see me, you'll see clips from like the stream, or you'll see me doing voiceovers and stuff. I just enjoy these the most. And I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, I just start like rambling about things, or I just start talking to you about things in my life and stuff, rather than actually commentating what I'm doing in the gameplay, which probably distracts you guys, and you guys can't really focus on what I'm doing in the gameplay. Basically, in the gameplay for the MGBs, first off, you gotta be better than the lobby. Then after that, you gotta win all your gunfights. You gotta be able to predict where the enemies are gonna be. Call of Duty is a game of predictions, and it's just about pacing and, you know, playing at the right pace. And you start to understand those things when you start to focus on that, and you just play a lot. Like in ranked play, I noticed I was dying a lot because I wasn't really pacing myself that well. Like, you really need to look at the kill feed. If your team gets 4 kills, then you guys can hop on the controller, hop on the, well, you guys should already be on the hard point, but you can play very aggressive, or you can get to a better location if you kill 4 of the enemies. Say you see your teammate kill 2 of them, and you kind of know where the enemies are spawning. You could hold an angle and wait for those 2 guys to run up. And so that's a part of the pacing, is just looking at that kill feed, knowing how many enemies are dead and alive, and then you can base your movements off of that. And it gets very important when you get to those upper leagues. Like, I got to Diamond, and dude, that thing's sweaty. Diamond's sweaty. Even though I've already been playing in Diamond for a while because I've been Platinum for a bit, and most of my friends are already in Diamond and Crimson and stuff. So I'm used to these lobbies. It's just like, oh my days, it's crazy. Like, going from Plat to Diamond, night and day. Plat, I can maybe drop on Nuke. Diamond, I could maybe get 10 kills in a row. I don't know. Over here, so you guys will see I'm taking a left flank around this building, so it limits the areas that I can die from. I can't really die from behind over here. I do have the advanced UAV, but I'm gonna wait a second. I want to get the maximum amount of use out of my advance, so I don't really know where that guy's at, so I just call it in right then. I didn't call it in before because I kind of knew where the enemies were at. I only use my UAV or the advance when I'm just really lost and don't know where the enemies are. And right here, I'm just going to let the enemies funnel into me. This is an AR. You can rush with it, but, you know, it is an AR. So you got to let the enemies push you. That is where it's going to excel. This is like a very good medium range weapon, very good at long range too. It just has so much mobility to where I can pop off like rushing with it. But I think it has like the best damage range in the game right there. I don't know where I got shot from, but I got shot. And since I didn't know where from, I'm just going to go to a whole different location, running around with my knife because it adds a lot of mobility. I can run from point A to point B a lot quicker, although, you know, you don't really have a secondary. But in ranked, you know, you always just want to run the knife. Over here, just playing them using the advanced UAV. Like I said before, Call of Duty is a game of predictions. With the advanced UAV, you don't really need to predict the enemies. Makes it very easy to predict them. You just know exactly where they're all at. I think we're about 10 kills off of this. Let me know if you guys have been liking the ranked play setups. This setup is very good in regular public matches. It's just sometimes in the public matches, you can, for example, use a laser, or instead of getting a little bit more recoil control, you can get more mobility. Like if I'm going to be using this setup in public matches, I'm going to be swapping out that phase 3 for the shark fin so I can play a little bit more aggro. In ranked play, you don't play super aggro and you need a lot of recoil control. And so just let me know. I guess, you know, for every gun that is good in ranked play, I'll give you guys a ranked play setup. And for every other gun, you know, I'll just do a regular setup. Over here, you guys can see, we are piecing. We are beaming. We are putting these guys together like a puzzle. Too freaking easy. And then the game is actually lasting a long time. If you want a lot of kills in your match, play hardpoint or headquarters and just have the enemies capture the objective a lot and have yourself capture the objective a lot. So then the time never goes down. It's just score and you're going back and forth, and then you let the time run out on top of that. And that's how you can maximize your kills. Like if I'm playing on shipment, if I want a 200 kill game, which I have a lot of those, every single one of my 200 kill games is on hardpoints. I think I have 1 or 2 on domination. Let's freaking go. We got the MGB. If you want to see more videos like this, if you want the best setups, I upload videos every single day and stream almost every day playing ranked play, dropping MGBs, giving you guys the best setups. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. You'll probably get better at the game, and I'm almost at my 100k subscribers. So, you know, if you want to help me get that plaque, that'd be cool. Also, a like is appreciated. My grandma gets very happy when likes are on the videos. One day she told me, she's from Argentina, she was like, Sebastian, no likes. And I was like, Grandma, it's not about the likes, it's about the viewer's experience. And she's like, no likes. Like, okay, Grandma, I'll ask for likes. So if I can get a like, that'd be amazing. And I believe we almost get a double nuke. Sorry if I'm moving a lot. I'm like tweaking over here in the camera. I'm just taking off my socks because, you know, this gameplay is getting pretty sweaty. The socks are off. And we're in the little hobbit house and we die. Sadly, I think we go on 1 or 2 more streaks. We die 1 more time and then I call in the MGB. Also, let me know in the comments, are you guys liking ranked play? I think it's very good. I think everything's perfect about it. I hope they do a copy and paste into the next Call of Duty. Maybe they can switch up the names of the ranks, but I think that's kind of unnecessary. The only thing I don't like is that there's a lot of hackers, especially when you get to diamond rank. There is a ton of hackers. A lot of people are like, oh, no, you're just making excuses. There's no hackers or anything. Dude, there is a lot of hackers. 100%. Just because, you know, the ricochet anti-cheat doesn't really work, and there's so many types of hacks, and it's so easy to get hacks in your account. I totally don't have any. No, I'm serious. I actually don't have any. Up here, this is a very good spot when you're on this, when you're on that tent, but you have to use a railing to get up there. Gotta hop up. Over here, I run out of bullets. I missed a couple shots. I think this thing is a 4 to 6 shot kill at range, which sounds pretty slow, but it has an insane fire rate, so it does make up for it, making it one of the meta weapons. I thought someone was going to be running below me, so I was going to Assassin's Creed his ass, but it looks like he did not want to go below me. The other day, I went snowboarding up at Schweitzer Mountain. My whole body was just so stiff the next day. You know when you haven't done a sport in so many days, or in months, and then you go do it, the next day you're fucked. Like, you're so done. And I'm surprised I didn't break any bones. I learned how to 360. I also learned how to fall my back and my neck and how to almost dislocate my arm 4 times or almost break my face on ice. But, you know, I did not do any of those things somehow. I should have broke something. I was going pretty crazy. You know, your boy's a pretty good snowboarder, I'm not gonna lie. You know, we got those 360s on point. Can do those rails, but I prefer not to do the rails because, you know, if I break an arm, I'm done. I can't make videos. This is my favorite thing to do. I wake up and I'm like, oh my days, I can make videos. But if I break an arm, I can't do that really. Gotta hire an editor at that point. Over here, I'm trying to beam those guys. I only missed a lot of shots because I couldn't really see them. Hopefully in the next Call of Duty we do have name tags. I don't really like those diamonds. like they're kind of cool, or sometimes they help, but overall I feel like they don't really help you that much. It's just like very hard to see them, or a lot of time it doesn't even pop up. You know, it'd just be nice to always have those name tags there. And then I believe we get a couple more kills and then we die. Also, look at my GPU. My GPU is dying. I was gonna buy a new PC, but it's gonna be like 5,500, and then I gotta pay someone to set up the dual PC and then optimize and do all that. It's gonna be like 6.5 grand, so I don't really want to do that, although, you know, business expense. And so I think I'm just gonna buy a 4090. If it doesn't fit my PC, I might just get the dual PC setup. But I'm gonna get a 4090, and just so my GPU doesn't die and I can get more frames and I can give you guys ranked play gameplays of the VAS and the TAC. But with all that said, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys did enjoy this commentary. I love you all. You guys all have a great rest of your day, and deuces. Get nuked, motherfuckers.
GG's, guys.
A little bit like young. I bought a yard today. Let her penny all yellow like a bird.